Good morning, everybody. It's so heartening to look out and see this amazing crowd assembled here. You know, Don has been such a sensational leader for this effort since the beginning, and I think we all owe him another round of applause for his leadership. I am so heartened to see so many of you demonstrating your personal and professional commitments to veterans and their families by joining us here today. With over 2.5 million returning veterans, the scale of the issues facing military families requires an all-hands-on-deck effort, maybe like never before, that includes community institutions, the private sector, government, and of course, philanthropy. When we announced this effort last year, I don't think any of us realized that the Impact Pledge would receive contributions from 34 organizations with commitments of over $276 million. And I think that the pledges are substantial, and they mark a historically significant commitment from philanthropy. And while today's event heralds some new commitments, the real advancement here today goes well beyond the dollars and well beyond the funds. These organizations have also made the commitment to collaborate and to collaborate over time. And events like this one, the interim meeting in New York last December, and yesterday's first organized Veterans Philanthropy Exchange meeting provide opportunities to discuss next steps and to build relationships. And I think that's a theme you're going to hear throughout the day that will really make the difference down the road. Today, we're going to spend the afternoon sharing solutions, sharing lessons learned, and lots of work in progress. The forthcoming panel discussions and solution sessions, as we're calling them, are designed to address key challenges and opportunities facing veterans and military families. And you in this crowd know those challenges all too well: homelessness, employment, mental health. We hope that you'll continue to share these best practices on the Veterans Philanthropy Exchange, which is a virtual community, in the coming months. But today's event, as I said before, is about so much more than money. It's about a shared desire to focus on what really matters, supporting military families and honoring our commitment to those who have served. Ultimately, it's people and its relationships built on mutual respect and trust and built over time. That's the real source of lasting change. And these efforts are only as strong as all of you in this room who animate them. I think if we emphasize impact and build partnerships, we'll be so much greater than the sum of our parts, and that is really the goal of this learning community. All of you in this room today are showing the country what's possible when we show leadership together. So I want to take a moment to thank some of the people who have made this day possible. Cliff Holtz, who's the president of Humanitarian Services, and the team at the Red Cross. They remain strong partners in this effort, and I thank them for hosting us today, and you'll hear more from Cliff in just a minute. The Secretary of the Veterans Administration, Bob McDonald, is joining us today, and that's a really important development. Philanthropy and the private sector can't address these issues alone, so we need a strong Veterans Administration that is consistently working to improve its service delivery and accountability. And I'm committed to working closely with the VA and other government partners in developing impactful public philanthropic partnerships. General Ivan Denton has devoted himself to overseeing family assistance work for the National Guard, and we're grateful to him for lending his expertise to our discussion. And lastly, I want to thank Lee Woodruff and Senator Elizabeth Dole for joining us for a conversation on caregiving. So today we are releasing a report, you'll have this at your chairs, on the efforts of Impact Pledge members. And we're sharing this with the White House, with federal agencies, with veterans organizations, and a variety of other stakeholders. This report provides detailed data on the contributions the effort has received and allows us to reflect for a moment on some of the good progress that's been made over the last year. As the president and CEO of the Council on Foundations, I'm deeply committed from an organizational perspective to raising awareness about these critical issues in philanthropy, to facilitating collaboration within the philanthropic community, and about building meaningful partnerships that can make a difference. But my personal commitment to supporting veterans and military families runs much deeper than the advancements we're highlighting here today. Some of you may know I grew up in a military family. My father served in the Army for more than 2 decades. Our family was proud that he earned a Purple Heart for his valor in the Battle of the Bulge. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and within a year, 9 months to be precise, I ended up living in my mother's native country of Belgium, while my father fought again for our country in Korea, and our family was reunited in France shortly thereafter. After 3 years of learning to be French, my name is actually Veronique, my reward was a one-way ticket to Fort Riley, Kansas. Having seen my family, and especially my mother, respond to all of these transitions, I truly understand the toll that deployments take on families. And this past December, my husband Jeff and my daughter Caroline spent a frosty morning laying wreaths at the headstones of veterans buried at Arlington National, including that of my father and my mother. So many of you have dedicated your lives to families like mine. You're addressing the needs and gaps in services for returning veterans and their families. While we've made progress over the last year, there is so much work left to do. And with your continued support and engagement, we're showing our men and women in uniform that their community, that their nation stands with them, not just now, but for the long haul. So thank you to everyone here today, and thank you most of all who have served this great country of ours.